Hey guys, so we finished Stranger Things last night, and I want to talk. Well, I want to talk about it with my husband and my brother-in-law, Che. Since y'all don't know, well, he hasn't really been in the video, so yeah, y'all know Eric. So, okay. So where should we start from? Like the last episode, or the part 1 first, and then part 2?
One more time.
Part 1 or part 2?
What about it?
Which one should we talk about first?
Something weird was getting ready to happen.
So
But
the recap showed in season 3 that Hop was blown up. That was a retaliation to actually what we thought was going to destroy the Mind Flayer.
Right.
It's been a while since he had gone, and it started off where, everyone was. It showed, how everyone was separated. Mike was not with 11, but she was with Will. Everyone was trying to live life the best way they could. Obviously Max was going through some things in the show. She started off where she was going to see a therapist. And that was kind of one of the first signs that they started to show that something was up, there was going to be a problem. Unfortunately, that was
The case.
yeah. What you think, girl?
all I get to do. Okay, we can go there. I will say, young lady that did Max, she deserves way more roles. The fact that she made me feel so depressed.
Yeah.
Something that reminded me of a thing. It was just like she conveyed so much emotion, and when it came to a point where she was about to go, she didn't want to go, and it was
She showed vulnerability.
and the emotions that come out of that is just like holy crap. There's moments that we have, and it's like the hindsight. When you see somebody have a certain amount of hindsight, and you're just zoomed in because you see somebody you relate with. It takes a very good actress to be able to do that, and she did a phenomenal job. I'll say that much. Like, she is a good stand-up, and I understand why they kind of really capitalized on her. They gave her character a large piece. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of did appreciate the fact that everybody's got that song that they go to whenever they feel terrible or they feel a type of way, and they actually use that to their advantage. I thought that was a really great idea, actually.
What's y'all songs?
Paris, Tokyo, The Fiasco.
That's a good one. I got plenty, but that's the thing. I got plenty of songs, but I would have to say I don't know.
That rainy day music. That song you always play and be like, man, how can I make this just a little better?
It has to be like hardcore.
What would it be?
Hardcore,
You telling me you ain't already thought about that? It's just like...
Well, I was thinking
Like
Creed, like one of their songs in Creed, like their group Creed.
I know what mine was, and I figured it out back in 2013. I wanted to be the piano version of what Prince's dad did in Purple Rain. Beautiful. And I want to learn how to play it because, man, that was something else. But I think my song that would probably get me back, or if I, didn't make it, I Used to Love Her by Common.
Yeah.
Or Memories Live by Tyler Kweli. Either which way I went, that's how I'm going out, but I remember that I wasn't alone. That y'all gonna remember the time because I get to have it at least once. It is what it is, but that it was grim. It was gripping. Kate Bush thing, that's cool. I'm glad to see. What I always say is, like, this woman had a whole lot of albums and she's getting what she deserves. Like, she's getting the recognition, especially being an artist that at that point in time they really didn't take notice of in the States pretty much. she gets to come back in a way that's like, they show love, and somebody's getting a chance to still get to see the power of their music happening. You say, well, she made this much money. No, she got to reach people with a song that was meant to reach people. That's why it was chosen. She's happy now, not just because she got some money. If you want to go there, it's because it wasn't. If any time in her career where she felt like it wasn't worth it, this is the moment at any given time that happened. Not only was it worth it, she became a legend. It wasn't overnight. She had to go through all the BS to make it as much as the actors had to.
Yeah. Very emotional song.
I was getting tired of it at some point in time. But I'm not saying it for anything outside of, man, they were using it to a portion where it's like you could have used a little bit more tension in some of your moments. And they had a lot of plot holes in there, but we won't get there. And
we gonna have to talk about that. Okay. Anyways, if I had to pick a song, it probably would be "Take on Me." It'd probably be that.
Yeah, he ain't getting her.
He ain't getting my ass. Anyways, okay. So then it started off when Elle is basically living with Will, and they starting off school, right? They going freshman year.
Yeah, they
freshman year, and she's like new to this different world that she used to, and seeing different people, like she, it's not her comfort zone. So at day one, it's like she's getting bullied, and I'm just like, dang. And she has no power, which sucks.
And it was embarrassing when she thought she still did.
Man.
Everybody's had an embarrassing moment in their life, and I know that was a cringy moment,
man,
because it was just like, oh man, like anybody that grew up in the 90s had some of those moments that made it worth it to see that. It was just like, oh, I want to turn it off for a second, because it's like, ooh, it's not cringy because it's like, oh, that was bad taste. It was like, no, we've been there before. Maybe not this big, but it's big enough to remind you.
Right.
So there's a meme actually about that scene you're talking about. It was where she was doing the hand or whatever. Oh no, I saw another one. Yeah, when she was doing I can't really find it right now, but it said when you mess with the anime kid in high school.
Oh,
I felt that. I ain't gonna lie. But shout out, that little anime kid. As a matter of fact, I got the power of God at anime, and on my side. I immediately thought of that like before I even saw that meme. So I'm like, whoever came up with that meme was like, you wrong for that, but
very wrong.
Wish I thought of it first, kind of.
I wish they would have kept the science fiction element to it, because at some point, man, they was trying to go so hard for each other. I thought they was gonna make Voltron or something like that. They was touching hands together and everything. I thought something was gonna start glowing, and
man,
You're funny.
I thought another number was gonna show up. They took an L for that one.
You're funny. So then, after that, Joyce ended up getting something in the mail.
A porcelain Russian doll.
Yeah, there we go. And then she was scared to open it
because it came from Russia.
They almost called Bomb Squad for it.
Man. And so she's trying to figure out that, and then Nancy, Mike basically started school too, and Nancy is trying to figure out what she gonna do with Jonathan.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend. Yeah, because they on different,
He's easy to forget.
I know he is. I don't know why.
Nobody on that, but he actually is easy to forget for this one.
At least in this season.
It was kind of messed up. Like at the end, it's like, man, he had a piss poor excuse. This is hard to.
It kind of seemed like they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sucked because he was the dutiful brother that was all about his family, but then that
changed.
Yeah,
because now him and Will just
like they didn't even know each other and they lived in the same house. It was more about him and Elle than him even doing anything. He was just doing stupid stuff, of course. yeah, I'm just be a stoner, but I'm gonna justify being with my family all this time since I'm here for them. Like, dude, driving around in a Scooby-Doo van with a
pizza man.
A pizza man.
A pizza plug.
Yeah. Who I feel like should never even been in
the
the show.
representation of what they did.
It was pointless.
It was hurtful to me. I'm not trying to be one of the people just like, I'm like, man, this is an indigenous brother, and it's like you made him just this Pauly Shore nut, and he's just like, why y'all do that? Like, he had more depth. He helped with, the restaurant portion, but he could have had a little bit more. I'm not saying he should have been some member of the team to a point, but come on, we're at the end. Who wants to see this? Like, it's just like, oh yeah, let's roll up then. Come on, man.
Him being the plug character, the guy that conveniently knew, so like he was the plot armor character. I kind of appreciated that. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, when he
Because
made
he was
that
like,
pizza, it was done.
yeah, like he even put him on the pineapple pizza. Personally, not a favorite for me, but if it's something you like, by all means, enjoy it. It's just not for me.
Tell us down there.
It's good.
That.
It's good.
Tell us down there. I would.
They say it's good, but that's why we order separate pizzas. But yeah, see now I kind of want to speak anyway. His representation in the show is like, yeah, he actually did manage to provide for the team, but in strange ways, mysterious ways even. It's just like conveniently this guy had what you need when everybody just finally was out of ideas. Unfortunately, throughout this series, everybody was losing. But to me, I feel like he was the biggest winner because he was the plug. Like there was nothing against him really. Unfortunately, a lot of his lines were kind of just
Cringy?
Yeah, cringy and generic. Like, yeah, let's just have a hot head kid here because it's the '80s. Like, okay, you needed a gnarly MF. Like, come on, man. Y'all, and they ripped off so many things from the '80s horribly. We should know what you putting homage to in your own way.
That's the second part, the second half. We still
No,
on the first
in the
half.
front half they did it a lot.
Yeah,
They
but
did.
not
They
as
actually do
much.
it throughout the series to pay homage to a lot of '80s, pop culture and everything like that. That's kind of, the overall idea of it. Is just it did seem a little what's the word I'm looking for? Gratuitous at some point to do so many all in one go. Like I did appreciate. I kind of want to talk about part 2. I'm not gonna lie. But
we
can
can
talk
put
about
it anywhere.
part
It does
2.
not matter.
We can talk about
Like
part 2.
scratch that.
Part 1 was a mess. We didn't like
Way
it.
too long.
Horrible.
Problem is, I'm not against a story that does that. You have to use tension. When it's so much open air, if it was a real moment, any of us would be annoyed. Like, we were having a conversation and like it feels like something's missing, like it's empty. Letdowns then.
But letdowns, yes. Letdowns for each character. Well, basically Steve and Lucas. Because Steve basically ended up alone. He pled his love to Nancy.
Yeah.
And he don't get no one? No one. He just has to watch everyone just, living their lives day to day with someone. And he ends up with no one?
No swearing, right?
We can't.
No. I guess bitches.
It was pretty cruel. Nobody's saying that he deserves to get the girl, but they never even tried to set him up to where things was going to be. All right, we knew Robin, she was lesbian, she liked women, fine. So there was nothing around the town, nobody. Like, you just didn't give the man anything. I'm not saying he deserved to have the girl, but this man was also good with the kids and the fact that he genuinely liked being around him. He was a pretty cool person. And when he stops being a dick, nobody want to be with him?
Right. That's the part that got me. It's like, wait, he's doing all these things.
This dude he's a goon.
And nothing?
I'll go ahead and say with how the series ended, it kind of was open-ended to think that maybe there was a possibility that they might get together, because as we saw earlier in the episode was, Nancy and
Jonathan.
What's his name? Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan.
Yeah, for real. We ain't, no
like I said, I liked your character, but there was that downward slope. That's why I kind of feel like there's more to come. This open-ended, like he has to have his sort of redemption growth arc too. But him and Nancy, they didn't seem to click too well when they met up and were talking. So it just went to show. It was just like either he's gonna get his stuff together. I want to swear, but I don't. At the same time. You want to get his stuff together, then it's, I guess it's open ended. We won't truly know unless they come up with another season that one y'all were talking about beforehand actually comes out. It might continue on that part, because how they ended it was just like, okay, what's going to happen now? Did they lose? Is this the end of the story? Like, that's the kind of, I guess you could say that's going to be that obscure closure that I probably won't get, probably will, like.
But they made it seem like part 1, part 2 was gonna be it. Like this series is gonna be it. Nothing more, nothing less. So when they put a 2-hour-long fucking episode on the last season,
it was not cinematic.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, y'all. Yeah. On the last season, I don't understand that. Like, why would you do that to us? Like, we didn't want that.
It would have been cool if they did the 40-minute whatever episode.
Yeah, 10 episodes.
It would have felt cinematic.
And just cut it.
The way it was spaced out was the issue.
Horrible.
Like I said, it's not that I'm impatient. It's just that it
felt like they was throwing us a bone.
They lost in the end. So it didn't seem like
episode.
Yeah, but that's the issue. Is like it didn't seem like it was rewarding to watch all of this, because
L's in a circle.
We got to see them lose the entire episode. Yeah, they had good ideas, but it didn't really work out in the end. So yeah, they kind of need to let us know, is there going to be a season 5? What's going to happen to this story right here? Is it going to be over with? I'm not going to say I want to know more about it. Who knows how long it's going to be?
I can care less. Less, because can we talk about Vecna? Because
wait, give me one.
Or Lucas.
Why in the entire hell did y'all not give us the Marvel ending? You wanted to have more. You didn't have to show us anything more than the bitter ruin past what y'all did. We're at the end. We rode with you for this. It was a shit slide. Okay, all the way around. There's a lot of good stuff about all of this in the elements. We're talking about the positive stuff because there's a lot. We're genuinely say, hey, this was great, but the way that it was conveyed is just like, come on, guys, we rode with you to the end. You couldn't throw us a bone. Now we just sitting around like, oh, let's see what's going on.
Like, was it worth it?
We've been around since day one. This how you end this? Like, what?
The way she walked up and saw how damaged everything was at the end, it's just like, what's to come from that? Like,
exactly. Does she
seem hopeful? Is she going to just have to live with that? This is her fault.
But Will, he still has no. You could.
Well, like she does have to face that realization that all this is basically her fault, because she sent the man that created all this to be possible. So it was a little disappointing that we're not going to get that kind of clarity as to like does she even look like she even has a plan? Does she even look like they intend to do anything about it? Like, we don't get to see anybody worried about the fiery pits of hell crawling out of your ground damn near. Like, we don't get to see the negative result. Like, why she would be afraid of this even happening in the first place? It killed like 26 people. They're like, unfortunately they all died and everything like that, but they made it seem like it was going to be much, much worse than that. Like, they made it seem like Demigorg is just going to start storming out of there and everything like that, and it was going to be Hellraiser all over again. Did they make a reference to that at some point? Hellraiser?
Some point, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They did when
lot of
Hopper
times.
was like killing the demi-part
You talking about with
with
that
the
big ass sword?
parasites when the parasites went into them, the big ass sword.
Oh, the previous season.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did so many scenes like that. They did
One of the
Carrie
triumphs,
scene.
yeah.
They did
It.
scene.
Terminator 2.
Terminator
I like
Terminator
that
2
one, though.
scene.
Yeah, I like
They
that
did Halloween, which
Nightmare on Elm
Freddy
Street
Krueger.
several times. Hey, shout out
Like-
to Robert Englund, though. One of the greatest actors in the history of horror. That man is, man.
He got his flowers.
yeah.
Got his flowers.
I almost felt real. I'm like, man, he really didn't do it. But it was like, you look like you did it, though. Like, he convinced me, was like, you still Freddy Krueger. I couldn't trust him. He was innocent. I still couldn't trust him.
Right.
Like, I know what you did, man. Johnny Depp, shout out. They didn't have to kill you on the first one. But, hey, you still won in the end of everything. I'm just saying.
Very funny. But yeah, the fact that since day one, Lucas been telling them, like, something is up, don't trust it, and yet he still gets shit
Man, they
through
crap
every
all over him.
episode, every season. And all this man was trying to do is live his life and wanted to play ball, do something
He
different,
wanted to be more.
instead of his own clique, like his own group. Like,
He wanted to be
branch
more.
out. Yeah.
I mean, his thirst to be popular was really problematic, though. Like, he was working too hard
I
to
give you that.
get somewhere like that. It's like as you can tell, you know, it's high school. It's not worth it.
Right.
You know, to be popular. Like, at least not like that way. You know, you're not gonna bring your friends in. Unfortunately, they're gonna stay where they are. And like he was gonna find out the hard way. And that was the part I was just like, I really hope he doesn't find out the hard way. But
Well, of course they gonna give it
he
to
found
him.
out a different hard way. So
Yeah.
I guess I win that one.
First and foremost, I'm gonna say they are fucked up for not going to the game that he won, and nobody brought that up at all. But I'm not even getting started on this portion.
Damn it, a
But
D&D match.
it's the fact that they went and did a D&D,
D&D,
and he
yeah.
got to see like, oh wow, my friends really didn't care. They chose that over me, and all I
that's
wanted to
when
do was be something else. Yeah, he
everything
had the
hit the fan.
popularity kind of thirst, but it wasn't for the same thing. You don't make the game-winning shot on a tough buzzer beater with the man. As soon as he spun around, I'm like, he getting it.
That fade away.
He wasn't the kid that was chasing fame that didn't want to keep being just some nerd. He was a dude that been balling for a while, obviously. Oh, he was riding bench. He's a
He picked
freshman.
it up overnight.
But he sat there and stole Buddy's swag just like that. He took everything from that boy. And all he did was go out there and play. And he got to have the moment immediately because he put the work in anyway. He was a last place choice, but he won because he put the work in to know the fundamentals. He got the shot off. And his friends wasn't there. Nobody was there for him. The ones he rolled with, the one that he almost died with for a girl that he didn't even know, he didn't have to be a part of. But that got him fucked up in the first season.
Into it.
Yeah.
Because he felt the way. He's the first one that said that they liked each other.
Ain't it always? He is still a teenage boy, so obviously, you know, the whole relationship situation was important to him. It may not seem like it's that great and important to us because, you know, we don't quite relate with it anymore.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a dry spell in that aspect. And you know, the one girl he cared about was doing more than just pushing him away, but she was also, you know, destroying herself. She was self-destructing, but she didn't know what to do. She was doing the best she could and everything. But aside from Max, he did still have a great relationship with his sister Erica.
Man,
She
can we
stole
talk about
the
Erica?
show.
Yo, I feel like she should have had more of a role in this outside of being,
Yes.
you know, the sub support.
Yes.
I did like when they introduced her.
Boys,
Like,
watch
that
out! She'll
man.
kick the shit out your nuts. Boy. That dude died before the shit split, man. It was
She earned-
over.
she earned my
You
respect,
heard that
man.
crack as a man.
Man.
I didn't feel nothing down there because I heard a pelvis crack. I was like, oh
Shut up.
no.
Like
no, if this was Mortal
Displaced
Kombat,
his
I
hip.
wouldn't want to watch that replay. Boy,
he said,
Man.
he just displaced that hip a little bit.
The way
But-
that she
but-
told Eddie off though, when they did the D&D challenge, she was like,
Yeah.
"I'm 11 years old."
your mama's book club. I'm just like, man.
like when she
had to
started
prove
like
herself
that, man.
as the youngest, and it's the fact that
She
she
had
was
to work
always up
harder.
for the challenge.
She
Like,
had
man,
to work
like
harder.
y'all the ones that just got here. I've been here.
But it's just like, yeah, I appreciated her when she was introduced and everything like that. She was the brains, you
Yeah.
can tell.
She should,
You know, it didn't take very much effort.
Which we needed, because it seemed like because I was just telling Eric yesterday, after when they let go of the teacher, it's like we didn't
The
have
science teacher,
yeah,
it's
we
like
didn't
they
have
forgot
no
that they were
one
that
to
level
like
of nerd too.
bring
that
them
was
right,
really cool.
right.
Like,
We didn't
I
have
wanted
no
to
one
see
like that.
more. When they showed it, I was like, well, the thing, I was just like, oh man, this a real science teacher. When he analyzed it, I was just like, I hope he's around to just keep him going. Like, you got all this stuff going on with the Russians doing their stuff, trying to get through it, but these kids had a chance where they would have understood a little bit more and added a lot more value instead of just having, you know, scenes of running kids to a point and just scaring kids and everything. Like, they could have been able to do their part from what they learned, which is how they helped Elle in the first season. Like, y'all tried to always make him the villain out of all of them. He was trying to be somewhat of the person that had to play the devil advocate, because it was his life on the line and his family on the line too, and he wasn't trying to say, oh, well, you know, I'm the one that is taking a risk too. Like, he never made it anything about that, but they made it. They kind of really made him look bad in a way that was really unfair.
Well, I mean, they did actually patch things up with him and Max. So that was kind of a
Yeah,
plus
to
side
the
right there.
very end, basically.
I mean, they
No
did that. They
cards.
did that with a lot of.
No cards. Will you go out with me? Yes
they,
or no?
They did
Check.
that. They did that part, yeah. But like throughout the season,
inaccurate that is anyway, because of headphones.
Well,
We've all
hold
had
on.
those.
Well, hold on.
She could have said something, and she would have heard him.
The whole situation where they were like, he was trying to reach out to her and everything like that. Yeah, he did get a win on that part.
He
You guys,
did.
y'all can't deny that.
He
No,
did.
we're not
You
taking
know,
anything
hold
from
on,
it.
hold on. So the overall situation between the two of them is just like, she needed somebody to be there to help her figure out what she can do to help defeat Vecna and everything like that. With no one she actually felt like she can actually feel like she belong and be comfortable with and everything like that. That was going to be Lucas, because they just recently patched things up.
Right.
So they
And
did
that's
actually give a lot of
basically
character
all she
development.
had.
He was selfish with the good intentions, but after a while, he started to notice that Max wasn't okay. Something's wrong with Max, and she's not saying anything about it. Why won't he say it to me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, she said it to me, and I kind of appreciated the fact that he actually had that kind of growth to be a little less selfish in the intent and actually listen to who is dealing with the actual problem right there. His motives in the beginning were shallow. Unfortunately, well intentioned but shallow. But in the end, he actually did grow as a character. He actually showed that he cared about Max and actually gave her more of the attention that she actually needed, but she wasn't asking for it.
I think he grew more than out of the other two. Out of Mike and Dustin.
Oh, the other two boys he
Yes.
was with?
He's dating Max now. He's trying to be his own person now. Do his own thing, figure out who he is. And then Dustin was friends with Steve, and yeah, he was trying to figure out, but he was still wanting that, be in that bubble of the three of them still. And Mike, he didn't know what the fuck he
was
wanted
a mess
to do.
again.
Like he the way he was treating 11 prior to the first two seasons, like, it's like, dude, it's either you want her or you don't want her. Either way, stop messing with her head like that,
I mean, he did speak on that part, but it's not enough to justify his actions and everything.
It's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Mike, he grew up.
Well, yeah, Lucas did. Lucas did have
I mean, not
most
Mike,
young,
Lucas.
young growth, but
See,
Mike's. I'm sorry.
See, again, when we go back into his characters, it's messed up. That's what I said. Like, they made him out to be an asshole because he wanted something else. And the whole thing is, anybody that hasn't been in sports, they look at the portion, it's like, oh, he just wanted to be popular. Like, no, he knew what came with what he does when he's not around y'all. Y'all have your thing, and that's just happened to be one of his things. He just wanted to pull y'all out so you wasn't getting your asses whooped. But when it came down to Max going through everything, it's like he still showed the portion where he was like, I'm a teenage kid that's in love with a girl that's going through something. He was just a kid that wanted to play ball because that's something else that he liked outside of D&D. To make his character so shallow when he should have been able to show so much more emotion and growth off of that instead of saying, oh yeah, he's just being selfish because he got this and this. No, it's not just about the intention. Like, the overall character just got lowered in how you look at him until he gets to the ending and he realized, like, nah, there was no realization. He already knew. And then at the end, he had to go whoop some ass, and he was the popular kid, and he got to whoop some ass. So, you know, but he stole my man's swag. He took that shot. He took everything. He stole that boy's soul. He forgot who he was mad at.
And the fact that the whole town believed
Listen to
a teenager that this was a effing cult
Oh no!
didn't make no sense.
Big spoilers
None
coming after this.
whatsoever.
Plot holes in this.
I mean,
None whatsoever. It's like, how can y'all believe this teenager, this one teenager, that it was a cult, knowing from season 1 that it wasn't a cult?
he didn't have his facts together, but he was loud. He was the loudest one in the room. You know how that shit go.
But still though, like, y'all stupid.
Am I allowed to go now?
You're stupid.
Am I allowed to go for it then?
Oh, by all means.
Can't.
I need one of y'all out here to make sense. Just make it make sense, okay?
Please do.
Again, they lost their touch for the science fiction, okay? They lost what made them more and more special, because the magic wasn't just about a psychic girl. It was about the creativity of everybody else, and they were taken back by emotion, and that was it. And it wasn't about them getting into the fray. You let the older kids go out there and whoop some ass because that's what they did. But it's like, y'all old enough to be participants instead of sidelining the whole way through. But when we go about everybody talking about satanic and everything that they went through, it's like, did the town forget that they got a chance to learn about the truth in the second season, that it was the government that pulled all this? Like, you knew what it was in the beginning. Oh man, some crazy shit's happening. We need to see what's good with this government. Not, we wanted to get all righteous and get tough with a D&D group. Like, these are people that have children in the community that you know what they do. That's why y'all treat them like they weird. Like, really?
It's all because of, specific style murders that they thought it was a cult. Like, a cult just goes and randomly kills people.
Apparently.
Oh, can we
I
talk
always
about
just thought they drank the Kool-Aid. That's it.
Can we talk about the deaths? How
Yeah,
many times he used that style of death pissed me off
over
to
and
no
over?
Gave
end,
that freezer
because
technique right there.
going to some of the best horror movies that have come out in the last couple of years, especially the most underrated ones, they use that effect, and when they use that effect just like they did in Annabelle, the second movie, man, when she got big and that demon came out and Buddy had the cross, it was game over, and it was just like, it took away what made a lot of different moments that had that special because they did it so many times. Like that's the only way he know how to just murk somebody.
Right.
Like that's it. You took it because this is what it happened. I know it's like it's written that way, but at the same time, it's not brand new. It's not owned by anybody. But you definitely did underdo it. If Michael Myers was just showing up and just giving body in the neck, it's like, hey, it's Michael. For 10 movies, nobody's going to watch that.
No.
He just showing up like, oh my goodness, Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, what's going on with you? That's the way he gonna get her because he walked up on her at the corner and like, oh, did you press the button yet? The crosswalk ain't there. Like, oh no, yeah. He got some mustard. Like,
yeah, because all he did was really just grab people with tentacles and break their bones in their eyes, crush their eyes in them. So I was kind of curious, like, what else can you do? Is
you that all powerful, but this is the only way you can do anything? That's whack. You took over a whole portion of the town by using your consciousness in a hive mind. But when it came down to the nitty gritty, that's really that was what was supposed to be making you scary? What? Come on, man. What they did to Will in the second season, when that bad boy, the mind flare came down and all you seen was just, it was like a tornado in him, that was horrifying. But that, we've seen it before, and then you beat the hell out of it. You clubbed that seal.
You know, I was kind of already expecting, okay, she's going to die, exactly like this, right? Okay.
It was a mediocre.
Like, it wasn't.
It was lazy.
It was nothing new.
Lazy.
It was too consistent.
It was so lazy.
Yeah.
This kid specialized in just
like brutality. Like the whole brutality aspect. It's like you could have. I don't know. I guess because the CGI is be a little bit too much. Like they trying to go easy on that show.
You went too hard trying to do Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street. They was doing too hard of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and
they could have broke it down.
It was so.
You know what?
They could have broke it down.
I'm glad you said
10
that.
episodes, 40 minutes.
And it would have been
what
the same
they usually
story,
do. They could have
So
broke it down just like that instead of having these
You mean to tell me
different stuff that which we didn't need in each episode.
You mean to tell me this man had claws like Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
Just
But
like
didn't use them like
Didn't
Freddy
use
Krueger.
Didn't use
But
them.
he's
He was
supposed to
just like
have
this.
some nuances like Freddy Krueger. Like he was in the face. I was like, bro,
they already
scratch him.
They are already
hands
in
on
your
him. You
lair,
got, like-
and that's all you do. Right,
Like he got them vampire claws, and all of a sudden he ain't using them like that. He does not want to lift a finger because the man is psychic. And guess what? Charles Xavier is too, but he uses his hand to drink a cup.
Right, this man
Drink
ain't
out of a
sitting there
cup.
like, hold on, let me pet you. Like, come on, man.
Like,
I mean,
I'm petting you.
Edward Scissorhands uses.
Right. He was probably the gentlest man in the world.
For real.
Well, the whole world found out that he actually is. Points to Johnny Depp. Every time they volley it, I'm gonna spike it. Let's go. I mean,
But yeah, but okay, so we found out who Vecna is. Number one, which we all knew.
painfully obvious. I mean,
All knew.
y'all ignored it for the entire series, and it was like we all knew.
Yeah.
That something was wrong because y'all gave us a number nobody asked for in the other
Right.
season. Nobody wanted that. It was just like, okay, it did help build Elle's character, but the way that happened was just trash. It went super left. It was just like, oh, this is the life she living. She don't like this portion. She wants to go all figure things out, and out of nowhere she finds a random thief that she used to be with, and they were cool, and then she on bullshit. It's like she didn't really learn nothing. She just learned that she wasn't that kind of a girl. That's cool, but come on, man. Nobody asked for that. It just took up time. But at least it had the respect to not be 2 damn hours or an hour and 40 minutes or something like
just
that.
to figure that out.
So I respect the fact that y'all put that there. It happened. I'm not upset that it happened or anything. I feel no real opinion of it.
I still feel like they should have spread that throughout the series.
They should have.
Like, why didn't you do something
The second
else?
season, I'm gonna go back to the second season. Because the second season, no, third season, when she was trying to find herself, or the second season?
Trying to
With
find
the
herself
sister.
whole
I mean, not the
series.
sister, but
the whole series.
Number 6.
number 6. Yeah, that's second season, right?
Yeah.
Or the third.
No, it's the third
Third
one.
season,
It's
okay.
third season.
The third season. They should have put that in there.
I always remember that mall, man. That
I
mall
know.
is like iconic because
They should have put that in
I miss them
there, explaining everything about that. Or get rid of that. Just get rid of that part and put that in there. Because it was no point of bringing in number 6, which we didn't even get.
right, she couldn't
In
use
the
her
last
powers that
season.
would have actually came in clutch. Like, man, the Avengers, man, they came out like she used visualization and everything as, you know, that was her thing. Like, what? Again, I'm gonna go back to the Avengers. What happened when they opened them portals? Boy, the army came out. Like, you couldn't at least have a distraction coming out. Like, nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, we do know they got caught by the police. No, they got away.
They got away. Yeah.
Yeah, they got away. But we all know that she ran off looking like, oh man, she gone out of my life again. But it was like, who are you though? We don't.
Yeah, they
We're gonna
just,
make more crime.
They just breezed that
But y'all
over.
couldn't give us that.
Gotta make more crime. I like that. Yeah.
It was disappointing in that. Like, man, that one didn't sit well with me. Like, why'd you have her here then? Especially when we talked about all the ones that
Well,
got nuked pretty much.
yeah. Remember, that whole entire room was pretty much swept. So she got to find out that that there's others out there like her.
And that's
She-
what we got.
It started to jog her memory into like remembering who her mother was and everything like that. So it did help out in that
I mean,
aspect. At
yeah,
least.
in that
It was
aspect.
a pretty cool portion of it, but you know, the fact that old girl was gonna be how she was, and then 6 was just gonna be 6, and it's like, why was she here then?
Yeah.
Just to be
If
like,
she was
I'm a
gonna be
rebel.
part of the show.
She had to be free. She chose not to be a part of it. But on top of that, we don't know if there's gonna be a season 5. So maybe she'll show up in the 5th season. Some Cobra Kai-ish.
You know,
Well, if they do
Another
a 5th
series
season, it needs to be called Hawkins.
Yep.
Hawkins. Now,
Yep.
no Stranger Things.
Because it's
I still-
Part
Stranger
5,
out.
season 5. No,
I
Hawkins.
still want to call it even Stranger Things. I'm just gonna drop that out
Yeah.
there. I know I said it
Wait,
last
wait,
time,
wait,
but I'm
wait.
still
You
standing by
can't-
that.
look,
Even
you-
Stranger Things.
yeah,
Just put the
exactly.
words "even" and some neon in the corner right there.
Yep.
Just
Hawkins, even Stranger
and it just it struggles to stay on or something like that. Pay me.
In a world where bullshit
Shit.
happens, this
Bullshit.
town isn't cursed, they just cursed with assholes. The shit gets real, season 5, with Hawkins. Even Stranger Things.
In fact, they're gonna come back like wearing a hoodie.
Man,
And hiding
can
this
we
whole
talk about
time.
that too? How? Okay.
He
It
flipped
It don't
out
make
of that
sense,
window. I
y'all.
knew he
It
was
don't
gonna
make
disappear.
sense. Make it make sense.
I really feel
How
like
in the world, he's in our time, okay? Our time.
Yeah.
And then he's in Max's mind, controlling her,
Oh.
okay? And 11 is in Max's head, being involved in that.
right.
And then you got Nancy Steve, basically in our time,
You
killed the man.
You took the science out.
Killed the
and then tried
man.
to
The
explain
main
it.
part of him, you killed him. But yet he's not even dead.
Because I was like, okay, so how can I explain this? You know about shadow clones and everything. It was basically like that, It was like how 11 disappeared from when she was trying to help out when she was so submerged in that water or whatever. He was basically doing the same thing, but, wired.
But it don't make
I couldn't
sense
help
though, because that's his body. That's him.
Yeah.
They killed it. Fire. Nancy got that
No,
shotgun.
he ran off. Remember, like I said, that's why he did that Halloween scene.
Yeah,
He fell out the window.
Exactly.
when
Yeah,
the body was
nobody
gone.
looks at you. If
Exactly.
you're gonna bring
Halloween.
up what made you a big fan of these different tropes and everything that you put in there, you could have at least had somebody look down. Come on, everybody.
I'm
Everybody
more
knows
disappointed.
that.
I'm more disappointed it wasn't
Homie
that,
tried to
that, that
choke
music
them
going
off
at
with
the
like
end,
10
Yeah.
Everybody knows that though. You look down. You look to see if you killed the person.
So
I
just
can give
look
two different
down.
bodies too. Like this
So you just
mug,
look down like, yeah,
he
bitch.
got rid of his winter skin and then ended up walking around looking like Baron Aphanize from what we do in the shadows. It made no sense. This man was just like, all jazz hands and I got you now. It was just like, dude,
I feel
what were they
everything.
thinking then? Like, so yeah.
It didn't make sense because Nancy.
That version got beat up, and then
Man.
the broken boss battle happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know that they wanted to keep everything to the '80s, but they missed a chance to put on Annie Up or DMX because that moment was supposed to be real hard. But really, as cool as it was that they got a chance to get him, it still falls short of what it did, what they did, the kids did in it when it was at the end. They said, get these bats, we going to work. Like, they did not have any emotion towards it. They weren't scared because they got you. Like, oh, that's your weakness. They beat the hell out of them. But for this, like, man, they let up. And it's like, everything was going to happen because it was supposed to, the way it was made. It was his world, his game. Even live or die, that was going to happen. But y'all didn't make sure you finished the job.
No.
He's part of a hive mind.
Yeah.
You shit the bed, man.
Sorry if y'all hear like fireworks and stuff. It's actually 4th of July. Well, we filming this, so whole part 2 just don't. It didn't make sense to me. Like
again, you
at
tried
all.
to.
It was a little bit more drawn out.
It was
The
too much.
piggybacking
It was
the one
too
that
much.
killed me. Like, how you try and bring in a concept of a power of what she's done before? And y'all didn't even utilize her mom helping her
No.
to get
Not
even
at all.
stronger at all. Especially since you want to get back with Max and everything. She can trigger her mom's mind that is pretty
Right.
much pudding. And you can't like that one was like, why are you gonna keep that there? Like, I don't know. She was tortured about her brother, and then you kept the torture in there for the rest of the show, and it was just like, why did you do that? It's gonna be something you're gonna bring up later on, or we just gonna watch him pull the plug, and it's like, see, in the future when people watch this, they're gonna be like, Eric, we didn't agree with you, but man, it was like, yeah, that's fucking bogus. Look what y'all did to that kid. He got his ass whooped until he turned into fucking Mike Tyson and beat his ass, and
Mike Tyson.
in the end, like, it was like, oh, he just unlocked the new skill as a D&D player, as the fighter class, the boxer class.
Kid, he got that enemy power shortly after.
And that was beautiful, by the way. Can we actually talk about the fight? Like, the fight was the one moment where they had let him get a win. He was getting his ass whooped a little too much for what we knew.
We
all knew he was gonna give him the business because they were gonna shit the bed with the whole idea of using that gun again. They was bogus for using it the way they did in the first way. It brought back it set the scene of something that we've seen in reality, and it was uncomfortable. It went a certain way that
Someone trying to take the law into their hands.
Yeah, it made me not want to watch it anymore because of that.
yeah, it was that.
Because I'm like, wait, y'all doing the most right now. Y'all making one of the main characters that we love,
that y'all did too.
right, into this. It was just too much. It was too much, and I hated it. I ain't
Preston
gonna
got
lie,
his teeth
I
back,
hated
and then
it.
you gave it to Lucas.
I hated it.
They took away the fact where everybody made fun of him because his natural teeth came in.
Oh.
So they wanted to make the butt of the joke. It was just something that was odd. They just threw it to Lucas. And it's just like, damn. Unfortunately, you do have to question that. I understand some people might be uncomfortable with it, but I will say, like, it did feel like y'all were just crapping on the black character.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, y'all did the whole police scene kind of
Yup.
thing where it was like, you gotta comply because I'm this, and this. I don't care how you feel about it. It just felt like it was too much. He was trying to kill a kid that ain't have nothing to do with it, and he just was sitting there. He was so blind, and that took away of it.
Picture with the Hellfire crew.
Man, but what's messed up is you forgot all about Eddie to a point where you just went far left of what you
Yeah.
were trying to do. And then the fact that y'all didn't use the citizens to fight anything
Nope.
made that whole thing pointless. Yes.
I didn't want to watch it no more
He was
because of
taking a
that.
beating that was just like, come on, man.
Yeah. Every
love
episode?
right here, and it's just everything, and then we just got some jackass here the way it was, and there was nobody there to help him out. Everybody else did championship game style. They kept that energy. He was on his own. He had his sister that was a true G. Man.
Give it up to Erica.
Man. If anybody call her a ball buster, you better leave her the hell alone. She got it.
Okay, now Hopper.
I knew he was.
What we all been waiting for.
You could have gave us more of him.
Oh,
Why didn't he get to be there in the fray?
man.
You wanted to take away all the science once again. There's a way we can get there. You didn't really get there, but you know. How did the Russians get there? Yeah, their stuff was messed up, but Hopper had been there long enough to be like, okay, they're doing tests, but that also should have indicated they were trying to open it up again. You left that. They ran around in the upside down so many different times, like it was just another neighborhood.
It was
But
like
they couldn't do that again to go find a loophole where they're going. That place is a suspended time space, just Stygian nightmare.
It was like he didn't even exist in the show.
And it
Like the
messed
whole
it
time,
up.
the whole time I was watching it, I was like, "Can we get Hopper? Like, can we get Hopper?"
That's why I said the story was scattered. They were having a hard time separating it within the season. That's why I was just like,
You could have
you
turned
should
it
have
into 10
announced the
episodes.
5th season to give people the clarity that there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more about this.
It indicated
But
that it was like
they got
we
time to
more
announce
ideas,
it.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, they got time to announce it.
But that was what made it kind of really bad when you watch the ending, and it's like there's nothing after that. We're not saying we're entitled to it, but it's like you want us to be long term after this shit. Come on, man.
Especially when you have fans from day one expecting for this season to be the last season over, but end very good. You don't get that.
And see,
You don't get that at all. You just get dragged on every
They got
episode.
away.
Hour long every episode. For what?
you see, when you
We
look
only
at
got a glimpse of here and there, here and there,
Yep.
here and there.
I mean, the other seasons kind of pulled her leg the same way.
The only thing was
Yeah,
good
it
though.
didn't
really
The only
leave
thing
us
was good
open
though
ended.
that I have to admit
wait,
was
wait,
Eddie.
Wait a minute. Yes, can we talk about
Was Eddie
Yeah.
basically saving the world, y'all. Saving the world, y'all, with Metallica. Can we talk about that?
I'm still upset.
Metallica!
Spoil it for me, man.
And that is a hard ass song
Yeah,
Stop
to
spoiling stuff.
play.
that hit hard. That was bogus, man. We had to feel away.
And-
He already had to. They just took it.
He was
But
just
yeah,
going.
It was nice to still see it though. It was just like that first time experience and witnessing. Oh, wait, what is he doing? Is he about to?
Right.
I lost that. So
We didn't want it to happen to Steve. I hope that a lot of people didn't too, because it was just like it made no sense. But it did set a chance for a second round for him. But for Eddie, man, that was
I was
cruel.
heartbroken.
He was getting manhunted by some deranged. I'm gonna use passages from the Bible, but I ain't been around long enough. I'm just a rich, pretty boy, quote unquote, with the girl that. Man, they bogus for that, but well, not really. They didn't get mostly into why he was picking people
Yeah.
to where it was not really obvious, but you didn't just make it make sense because you got teenagers all over the place doing it. You only pick 4, but you're in a whole area where it's a bunch of teenagers now because we have it set that way.
See, there was a conversation that seemed like they were triangulating things, but they derailed immediately off of that because they were talking about the placement of where everybody was being killed.
Right.
And it seemed like, okay, so there's going to
They
be a
just dropped
cross section kind of idea, and all of a sudden, blip,
Yep.
another thing happened. I was just like,
Right.
what
We
happened
saw
to
what
y'all
happened
trying
to
to
this-
figure out where all this is coming from? This whole thing, while I was watching, I was like, okay, so they're gonna find the last person they're gonna try to kill, and they forced it into being Max. It's just like,
Which you would think it's an hour-long episode. They had enough time to put all that
Yeah,
stuff
you
in.
could have done something. And
They had
tried
enough
these
time
other
to put
portions.
every little thing that we talking about right now in these episodes.
Now, I need to have this disclaimer here so people understand Eric and Stephanie, Miss Jean here, okay? We are huge movie fans.
Huge.
What kept-
Especially
what-
horror.
our relationship started with the level of love for the cinema. The old, the good, the bad. We're not really B-movie people. We're not there yet. Sorry for all y'all that are huge B-movie fans, but I can't do it. My dad's a huge fan. I got an uncle that does it too. It's just like we tried. It's just like I can't. Like whoever made this movie, they're not getting big, and I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, there's a couple I've watched that are pretty nice.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna list them because some people might not think they're B movies.
Yeah,
so, you know.
but
I don't want the comment section flooded with something that's not even about this conversation.
Yeah, but
I thought you said Die Hard too. Like, you know, I don't want that.
They definitely could have done better in a lot of that. And it's like you said, like you didn't show that portion where there's a map. We obviously got to see what happened for Town Hall. Why couldn't y'all just put that there? Like if this was gonna happen, X marks the spot. They did it in Nevada when they found L.
Yeah.
Was that really too hard to just be like, oh, this is where it's at? Like they literally weren't even gonna be there during that point in time because there was no reason to be there. So
the first thing they found was the flickering lights.
We had Blight in the second season, so it was just like, y'all really doing this again this kind of way? Like you could have put that X anywhere at that point because it had nothing to do with anything. I mean, it serves its purpose. We all know, but you know, it's the anus of hell pretty much for them. It's a whole lot of stuff about Vecna that we already saw, so not as interesting. I mean,
no. Season 1, the clock, right? All the clocks, and then it rings. The lights. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What is it?
It makes noises every 4 times. Like we got that. The Demigorgons, we got that. So we knew it wasn't just them. We knew it was something more, you know.
Right, something's not coming for them for no reason because they're not. It's not the one that opened the gate.
Something bigger is on the horizon.
Right.
I think, yeah.
So we knew that was coming. But the story, the background though, story of him was
obvious and creepy. It was because he did a good job at it. And I don't mean that in such a bad way. It's just it does come with the territory, but you know, he's not much to ride a home over either. That's kind of where I come from on that.
But the fact that he killed his family though, that's messed up.
They made it obvious.
I know, but that's just messed up. Like you killed your sister, you killed your mom, and you tried to kill your dad.
Like his weakness was because he couldn't feel the vibes. He wasn't feeling the beat.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the love?
Like, this isn't a place where you do banging music.
Like he walked into Apollo Abdul.
But do you think that's why he didn't get Will? Because Will did have a song. Cause remember in the first one, like his brother was playing that song for him to listen to. He was and he was singing it in while he was in the other world. So do you think that's why Vecna couldn't get him because of that?
It's very possible because the way they tried to be like, oh, let's lay everything out. I mean, he
because
did get
he
that
escaped.
and everything. He did kind of.
That's the thing about it. Will escape from that.
Did he?
No, I'm just saying he was the only one that escaped out of it. Yeah, he's still being tracked, but I'm just saying he's the only one that escaped from it.
But the Vecna stuff, man, it tried to be too much. But he was an underwhelming number 1, and it was really.
And what do you think Papa was like literally trying to do for him? Nothing, right? Like he just wanted him to see what he can do, but at the end of the day, there was nothing more
Fake Ted
he
dancing.
wanted him to do.
Fake dancing.
Fake Ted dancing, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
I don't even know how to describe. I mean, I understand
too
like
much.
what his character was supposed to be in this season, but
And then the fact that they changed him.
like they didn't relay the message again to 11 about how she can fly, metaphorically speaking
Right.
or whatever. I'm putting up the quotes, y'all.
The piggybacking.
Yeah. Like he said she's not ready until she can fly, and she proved to him that she could technically fly, not literally, but she can soar in terms of her powers. She just has to soar low, and he finally got a chance to see that, and he had to let her go, of course, because of the way he died or whatever. But it was no, I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was. But do you think that
They crazy as hell using that damn helicopter, boy. That was just
yeah. But do you think that they gonna change time? Like in the new Hawkins, whatever. That's what I'm calling it. Hawkins. They gonna have someone to change time to go back, or do you think she's gonna be able to be the one to change time to go back and fix what she had done? Or do you think that they just gonna end up fixing what's already has to be fixed now?
I mean,
I know they gonna have to fight, but I'm just saying, like, do you think someone's gonna go back though and
but that would mean
reverse
Vecna would have
time?
to be close to being able to do that also.
in fact the way that if mind flares out there, what makes you think that anybody's gonna get organized and he's not gonna know about it anyway? Any move made, I don't know.
At that point,
Hive mind always knows, especially when it's invading. When it knows what its main enemy is, it's not going to stop trying to find out as much information as it can, any way that it can. It's a hive mind.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, it's like you said earlier. It was just too much, y'all. Like, too much in these episodes, and again, they were just putting stuff in that wasn't necessarily to be put in.
it was good, but it wasn't necessarily something I'd go out my way to binge watch for a second time so soon. Like maybe after
10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, some people take longer, yes. But I was thinking maybe next year when I finally feel like I need to understand more about the. I didn't watch season 1 through 3
For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, since season 3 dropped. So when they finally put season 4 down, I figured I'd watch it. They're gonna drop a recap anyway. They did. So
For Vecna, though, they made everything so obvious.
I mean, they weren't really trying to make it too much of a secret in that season at that point, but in the beginning, yeah, like they should have. Like I said, a lot of the past 11 situations they were showing us should have been spread throughout the previous seasons going forward and everything like that. As part of like memory gaps and everything, she was using her powers. I feel like that should have triggered some sort of memory from
Exactly.
spacing out. It's just like
And-
I feel like I remember something. Did I
Right.
kill those people? Have a moment like that and everything. I mean, she did have a moment like that in one of the episodes, but it wasn't nearly as much as an inkling. They've showed some times where she was sitting in the lab, but they stopped doing that nearly as much as she got older and was spending time with her friends. So it's like I think she was working too hard to ignore the trauma and remember her past, or she was getting there. Like she had to learn. I don't know. I can't think like a kid anymore.
No, I feel like what you said earlier though, Eric, like they should have brought in her mom to help her kill his ass.
I'd have Mike do nothing but just be there. Like, come on.
Yeah,
We
and
get it.
then
We understood the sentiment, but Do better.
And then
Do
just,
better.
you know, pretty much end it like that. Like,
Ace in the hole. Come
yeah. Because, like I said, Nancy, Steve, oh girl, what's her name
Robin.
again? Robin. Like, they did the damn thing, but
MVP is Eddie.
y'all.
Someone see back. a little bit
Yes,
so I can fit the
MVP
camera
is
here.
Eddie. But Nancy with the shotgun, props to her.
Man, like I said, that
Hey,
Terminator
hey,
2
hey.
scene. Like I was hoping for five shots.
I know.
I was counting. I was like 3. Oh, okay.
Like I don't want to say anything outside of. He did so much stuff to where it's like we literally watched him do the super villain monologue to a point where it was like, wow, we really have to watch it. Anybody who watched Midnight Mass would be annoyed from remembering the ending. I'm not gonna spoil that for anybody, but I'm just saying, boats, kids, beats, Battlestar Galactica. Moving on. Anybody on the know is going to at least know. But
But yeah, I just felt like
Boy.
they could have done a lot better with that scene, and just ended with that scene of them getting their victory finally. Like you had us wait. This is what I'm mad about. You had us wait for a whole 2 years. 2 years now for part 1 and part 2, thinking that was gonna be it. But the fact that it's not it, or maybe it is it, and that's how they gonna end it.
That was a real Stranger Thing.
Yeah. If we can rate this season 4, what would we rate it
A B minus.
for? A B minus?
Yeah.
A B minus?
Yeah.
Dang. I was
it
thinking.
was great, but it wasn't good.
I was thinking a D.
I'm saying a B
Like,
minus because
A 2?
Yeah,
A
like
2?
I said, it was kind of scattered in terms of like the context of the story with the characters. Like, yeah, it was all working, to where characters that were together were still, together. They weren't exactly, trying their hardest to stay away from each other. No, they were still connected. But
What was you?
I mean, given how it was the '80s and
For me-
everything, it's not like they could send a text message out, so it was kind of hard for them to stay in touch and communicate so they can know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a solid C plus because
See, y'all, I feel
Before-
like y'all doing most right now.
before anything else, I will say what they did to Lucas was messed up. But the biggest identifier was you had a black kid from an area to where it's like he was easily to identify. He wasn't just a black kid in the series. He's a black kid that was getting his ass whooped. Hey, someone's get our ass whooped, and I kind of like he put me through a bit of an emotional roller coaster too. It's just like get to see because they did still just they tried to go Dark Knight. I feel like it was a failure. Y'all did great, but you didn't do good. But yeah, I give it solid C. I don't mean disrespect because it takes a lot of time to view
Like
it.
I said, it was good, but it's not something I can sit down and watch. So soon. Like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed a lot of parts.
Okay,
about
it wasn't
but
bad.
because of all of it's because of all of the. I guess you could say it's not. I'm not gonna say full filler, but it felt like there was a lot of filler content in there. It was just like a lot of stuff shouldn't have happened or wasn't necessary. It was like what I was telling about Buddy that with the pizza had or whatever. Like, I'm forgetting everybody's name right now. There was a couple of lines of dialogue. It was like, did they even need to be said? Like, what was the point of even talking of saying that? Like, it didn't. No one else said anything else about what he said at all. It kind of seemed like it was pointless.
Okay, maybe
But
I'm being too harsh. It's
But yeah, it's like yeah, a lot of the characters they didn't get really too much they didn't really get as much light and shine or whatever. But at the same time, we did want to see more of Hop.
Hop, yeah.
And
yeah. That's what I was waiting for.
Ryder's character.
And we only get like one episode, like basically one episode of Hop.
They didn't get the chance to go out there and open up shop. They didn't get a chance to do that.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to see. I wanted to see more about the overall thing. You know, I wanted to see more of them, more of the action they got into. They missed everything out of everything. They missed the whole Vecna fight and everything. They missed the whole Vecna fight. Mm-hmm. They missed the fight that was going on inside of the camp, the building or whatever. It was like man, like what?
Hopper was there.
They just running back and forth this whole entire season. Like, what was the point?
Sorry, y'all again.
If Hopper was there,
I'm sorry.
If Hopper was there, we wouldn't have to worry about where did Vecna go. Nah.
Oh, Hopper would have got
it. Get my second daughter, 2 in the back of the head. You thought he was there, but he was in the jungle. Okay, all you know is fantasy. He was in the real shit. You ain't making it out. Look at all that, man. You ain't beating Hellboy, all right.
That sword though.
That was
that secret item ass sword.
Yeah, that was like y'all gave us Easter eggs for the nerds.
That was a purple level item right there. It just showed up out of nowhere. Press Y to pick that up. I was just like, okay, I see what y'all did there. Where did that sword really come from?
It did feel like that.
Someone just dropped it on the set like, oops. They're gonna use that later.
It did feel like that. Oh my god.
It's like they had it there just in case Robert Downey Jr. showed up. What's going on, guys? Oh, I got it.
Like, just Robert Downey Jr. leaves snacks around and Hop leaves swords and weapons around.
Yeah,
I guess that's a good combination.
I learned. Watch, guys. I learned this from Hellboy.
This is a romance movie, but Ninja Star.
Y'all funny.
So that it's a lot of good portions of it, but when you look at the overall story, we're giving you a good enough overall to where it's like, why did it need so much time to do that? And it's like, yeah, it didn't justify that amount of time, and it was like, man, I'm not gonna say wasting time, but I am gonna say that if I could go back and watch it, I would just wait. Everybody's gonna spoil it, whatever, but I would have just waited. I would just waited.
Yeah.
After
Buddy fight, that was like a joy.
After my man's turned into Sugar Ray Leonard,
that was like
he gave
chef's kiss.
Yeah,
that part,
unlock fighting.
Because he deserved that.
He split open like a mozzarella stick. Boy, I was just like, look at that glow, boy. Goddamn. I
moment where you forget the moment where you playing Monster Hunter and you killed it instead of trapped it.
Shit, I'm still laughing at it though. He laid there and took that.
He
could have been right.
He wasn't dead. He was just knocked out.
He just got you with a couple of good ones, and I guess the first one was enough. I'm gonna get this vase. Like, dang, he must have really got you.
For real.
Like, the power to win the game was just it. He said, by the power of puberty.
And he said,
man, I just seen
that final blow.
That look of just like, he
just laid there like, I deserve this.
I know everybody that watched it was just like, yo, I know it, man. Yeah, Netflix made a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, that
synchronized rewind. Oh my goodness.
Whole entire time I'm saying like, where's the gun?
That's like,
and then all of a sudden, I ain't had to worry about the gun anymore. I was like, cool. What gun?
That's like watching the end of Joffrey.
Yeah.
Caught him slipping.
I mean, you can spoil it for me.
We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
Hey, you care about people. They your people. They your friends. Hey, nobody works the same. Everybody doesn't work the same shifts. Everybody doesn't live the same life. Don't be a jerk and spoil it. Don't put it on social media and make it their fault because they just want to check them, see how they people work. You excited, that's cool, but at least put a disclaimer or something like that. When you say something, worst thing you can say is you should have already seen it or something like that. If somebody work nights, they ain't gonna be able to go through all that. Maybe they got kids, maybe they got one on the way,
Like,
maybe they
people have
study, maybe they
lives,
trying to
y'all.
be what they trying to be and try and enjoy something that's
Be in
good.
the hospital, can't watch anything. It's reception garbage.
So, you know, that's why everybody hates when people spoils it, but we still have those people out there, and it's horrible. I would hate for somebody to spoil Westworld for me.
Man. I know, right?
It's
We ain't
a
gonna go
couple
there.
more things
We
out
ain't
there.
gonna go there. Anyways, anything else y'all gotta say about Stranger Things before I close it?
No, I'm hungry. She gonna make her shot, and we're not gonna be here. So we're just her special guest. It was thank you very much, man, for having us. I really hope that we can do this again at some point in time. There's a lot of movies. We're gonna talk about good movies, bad movies, shitty movies, shows. This wasn't bad. It was an experience you just want to go back to for a little while.
Jay.
I mean, I had a train of thought a while ago. I got a little thrown off. I'm not gonna lie.
He
We
tends to do
changed
that.
the topic, and we were just like,
He tends to do that.
I ain't mad at that. I'm just trying to think of something else. That's why I'm sitting here stuck. I mean, like I'm sitting here at Applebee's, so I'm just my first time sitting here. Like, I don't know what's on this menu. I gotta sit here, and everybody's just like, I'll have this. Like, my turn. But it was like I said. It was like I wanted to see more of that team because Murray was the shit. He didn't get enough shine in the second
Man, especially when he hit the karate.
part. Yeah, like shit. I'm thought about buying one of those T-shirts.
Man.
The dark horse, the one that you expected to just be the clown. Instead, this man turned into the hero.
The answer.
Yeah, he was the answer to everybody's problem. But the rally call of old buddy with his helicopter, it was amazing that he went from, wait, this ain't about greed, this is about the world. It's like he forgot about what he was dealing with. Mm-hmm. And once he was reminded that he was a great man during the war, it turned him into the fierce beast of
shit, man, the helicopter.
Forget the peanut butter. This is all about what I signed up to do, not just for my country, just for the world. It was bigger stakes and money couldn't buy his way out of that one. But he didn't care about the money when he got to that. When he was reminded by somebody to remember him as he is, that was touching. They didn't try to Disney it up or something like that, sugar it up. Like, no, he's a man that wasn't. He's not some. He was just some weird guy when they presented him that was just off his rocker, and then he was just some jerk. And it turns into, you were a hero. What's wrong with you? That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Like,
we were expecting violence and there wasn't. So
For
I
real.
was kind of relieved that nothing happened because it's like this. Like Yuri is an interesting character too. It's just that we didn't get a chance to really see very much of that. That's kind of what was bothering me. It's just like
they're cold like that, and that's your life, man. Come on.
It's just like that's why I wanted to see more of those characters. Like I felt like they focused too much on. Well, in the first part, they focused too much on Nancy and Steve and
With no
First part, the first
which
part,
was cool. It was cool. It was a great experience, but it was a slow draw to get there. It was quite a
It was a
late.
slow burn to nowhere.
Yeah,
But
and which I don't understand why Netflix is doing that now. Slow burns.
because people want to watch. I actually know a lot of people that actually want to watch full-on hour-long shows. If it's under an hour, they're not interested in watching those shows because it's short.
I get that, but does it have to be that slow burn to the point where it's not getting anywhere?
Look, I'm not part of the anime
In
community,
books,
but I can definitely
in
say
books
there's
it's
a reason
fine.
why filler exists.
No, I gotta go there. In books, it's
It don't be like
fine.
Naruto.
In books is fine. I understand that.
Cool.
People love slow burns. I get that. I love slow burns. In books, I do. But in TV shows,
That's
you gotta
masochism.
make it right. If you want to make it slow burn, okay, make it slow burn, but get to the point though. Have a set boundaries of the point.
It was, like I said, that's why they should have scattered a lot of the past sequences, because they had. It was like 2 episodes that could have just fit in between, like, because the previous seasons were shorter than this.
Yeah.
So they could have just fit all of those episodes into like the previous seasons and just pepper it in there so we can get more of an idea. Because like we need to see this, understand why 11 lost her powers, and then she goes through the process of figuring out who one is. That's how she gets her powers back and everything. And that would have been
more fulfilling,
a lot more efficient in keeping our attention drawn. Because I'm not gonna lie, I found myself looking at my
If
phone.
we knew he was a dick, man, why do we have to bring it back? What we already knew, and why bring him back? It would have been more. It would have been better if you would have kept my guy in there to end up getting whooped on, and he genuinely cared about the fact that the world is about to go something. She didn't need another firm hand. That drew out what we already knew. Yeah. And it's like, we knew he was an asshole. We knew that he was like, you gave us a day one recap for no reason. We know what we were dealing with anyway, but let's go ahead and draw it out. Just to put in a piece of story that should have been on the first season anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
This is what Vecna's throwing at us. We're trying to get there. We're trying to figure it all out. Instead of trying to throw it through some convoluted story where it's just like, yeah, you ain't know it was me the whole time.
See, I guess it's because we watched 4 seasons of a show where we knew there was an entity behind all of this. Yeah. And then when we finally meet him, you're just like, this is it?
Right.
Flesh crunch?
You do.
Right.
Flesh crunch?
Right.
Flesh
and that's
crunch.
another thing. They made him big in the first part. They made him big, y'all, in the first part. The second part, he's skinny as hell. I'm just like, what? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I feed myself by breaking bones.
That's the other thing. If he didn't actually die, I gotta ask, how was he eat?
Little tubes going through his body or whatever.
What was it then?
I didn't make the show.
They not making it sense. That's what I'm saying. Make it make sense,
I'm not saying
y'all.
you even had to,
like,
because
there was no
I love
clarification.
I'm a big fan of, again, science fiction, and it does get a chance to write its own rules. So it did do that portion, and it's like, fine, it is what it is, and I accept that. It was,
it's over.
It's a whole lot about Vecna that they could have shown more instead of BSing with everything. They shouldn't have tried to rush him into it, dude. You are everything, and they treated you like you were nothing.
See, right? They should have had an episode of that. They should have one episode of him.
How you feel about everything?
I'm just saying. Listen, let me tell you.
My apologies. I'm sorry. My bad.
They should have had one episode, 1 hour long episode. They want to do it that way, of just him, explain him from day one of how he was little to what happened, and then to after when he went to the different world. Like, they should have had an episode of that, just to give him more, details about him and who he is and all that jazz. But no, we only got glimpse of little things of him. I feel like they should have just had at least one episode of him explain everything about him.
Right, he's number 1.
Yeah, number 1. And we've been waiting for this. Like, we knew all along it was going to be number 1.
There should have been a whole hidden detail where it's like number 1 is out there, but they never implied that he was missing until later on in the series.
Right, why was 1 number shown and it had nothing to do with everything else? Why?
Like, they should have had that. They should have had him.
Like, they made it obvious more than one escaped.
And explain.
You hurt your earlier work with that.
That's what I don't understand. Season 1 was a banger. A banger.
The first 3 seasons were a banger. I agree. appreciated it.
Okay, first 3 seasons, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the first season was like, yes. Bottom line
Good
is,
action.
they should have had one episode of Vecna. They should have, if they was gonna do Nancy, Steve, Robin, whatever, they could have done that better. Like, they could have broke that down. Especially when Steve professes his love to her about wanting to have 6 kids with the woman. How he see his life with the woman that he loves and wants to be with. And you can tell that Nancy is like feeling this man, wanting to be with this man, but she can't be with this man because she has someone else who basically ain't doing shit for his life.
And was gonna dump her anyway.
Right.
Like, even
So
through
it's
all
like,
that, he gonna try to split it up. It makes
and
no sense to me.
right, and for the fact that she asked him why you didn't fill out your applications for college, were you even planning on going? And his answer was no. She should have been left. She should have took off and be like, okay, we're done. Because I'm not going to put up with that. Like, we're done. I'm going to Steve. I'm going to be with the man that I truly love. Like, point blank period. But no, we can't get that because Steve is alone now.
Well, it's messed up because when it comes down to Jonathan, it's like
He needs a chance to.
He had a
he's
chance.
in the first because in the first season he mocked everything that she believed in as how she wanted to have a family when she was with Steve. She wasn't with Steve for no reason. He grew, she grew, but she wanted that family in the suburbs. But she's gonna be a working woman. That was a huge portion of who she was.
Mm-hmm.
Steve showed her that he ain't had no problem with that. She was smart. He didn't want her to just stay at home. That was never ever implied in there. But that's what she wanted to be. She wanted to be all of that. That portion was in there. But already from the jump, Jonathan was more about being a rebel than actually thinking about what another person actually might have actually wanted. It was like he never really asked what her end game was for their relationship at that point in time.
Exactly.
They just had each other, and he was just a rascal, and that was it. Like, he came from a broken family, all that good stuff. But he set the tone on what their relationship was going to be out anyway. It was going to be a rocky road until it wasn't anymore. And guess what? He wanted the girl, he got the girl, and then he messed it all up on himself by being neurotic for no reason.
No reason. He don't have no reason.
He
for
got
being
so
this
caught
way.
up in being just nothing that he ignored his whole brother. That was the reason why everything jumped off. Your own brother that went through the whole thing, that he was going through really, really messed up stuff. The man was in love with Elle, but nobody wanted to. But it's like his brother wasn't present enough to even be there for the person. He said that's the reason why he wasn't going to school. Basically, he had all of that set up in his mind,
Another question
and it was so pea-brained.
Another question pops into my head. He loves 11 that much. He was in the Upside Down. He could basically see everyone and everything. They need to show his perspective at this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
He shouldn't have
outside
taken
of him being, alone and crazy and everything like that. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be damn near impossible unless they go show a full ass CGI body.
But that's-
Speaking of which, if you know you're going to make a scene with the younger 11 and put it in a later series, why didn't y'all make those episodes before all of this? Instead, you got a full CGI body. I'm pretty sure that was expensive.
You spent more money on something that you could have already done.
I'm pretty sure that's why they had to over budget the show like this now.
They measured once and cut twice.
It seemed like it was just like they were trying to figure it out as they went along. It was just like,
It was rushed. And yeah,
that's kind of why I give it a
I
B
agree.
minus, because like they messed up in a lot of areas in terms of story detail.
Yeah, because
That's why they
Will,
get a C+.
I've been saying this from the beginning. Will been through so much shit, and
Y'all
yet y'all
ignored it.
treating him like he's nobody. Will went through that. He went through everything. He was stuck in there,
And
He
you
just
know,
became
11
a straight-
and
and he came out, and y'all treated him
Minor
like he
support
was
character.
nothing. Like he was no one to y'all anymore.
he started out going through some shit.
And I'm just like, how, why y'all doing this? Because that's every episode. It's like they just skimming through him. And the one time he say something to Mike, to his brother, it's like, okay, but that's it? That's it?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Like, Will should be the main person besides L. Like, the main person right now.
He should have been a lot more useful in the back
Yeah.
situation. I
Yeah.
kinda feel
Because
that's
he
kinda
could
why
have
it's
gave
just
them
like-
details about, okay, yeah, this is going on.
Yeah.
She probably
He
gonna
was
be
a
in this
part
place.
of the
This
hype.
Yeah, I
place.
can feel
like,
him around and everything like that. It's like you don't have some like I feel like he should have had some sort of connection with 11 being
really
being
feel like-
exposed to it for
I
that
really
long.
feel like
Exactly.
he was a part at Vecna's pretty much taking over his body. He was a part of the hive.
yeah.
The hive mind was within his mind and his body. So to say that's gone, it's not. We saw what happened at the end of the first season.
Especially
And-
when all the stuff was coming out of him and
Yeah.
everything. Like, that should have been the main cue. Like,
It's like they forgot.
he's
It's like
taking,
they forgot a lot.
someone
of
is
past
taking
content.
over him.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like they forgot what they made already.
that's what I'm saying,
And
it's
that's
just
the
been-
worst part. Like what you're getting out of us is a raw version of something, but it's like it looks more and more like we scoring still higher than it should be. For so you shouldn't have this many plot holes. And it's
I'm
weird.
gonna keep my B minus. I'm gonna
No, there's nothing wrong
Okay,
with it.
no, you keep
it
your
was-
B.
I don't see.
I
that
keep my
over
C. It's a C.
Those
It's
kids
a
grew up
C.
to give people something that was a hell of an experience again. I won't say, oh, I'll never watch it again. I will. I'll start from the beginning, the whole night, and I probably will complain about how it ended up anyway, up until the next one shows up. I'm not saying, oh, I'll never be a fan. I'm just saying, man, you fucked up.
Big time.
So we'll wait, see what's going on, because life goes on. When it shows up, oh man, you forgot that show? You remember that show? Hey, you remember that show and how it ended? We're going to want to see it.
I don't know. But I'm
Because,
just saying,
you know,
I'm not going to, like,
So I feel like that's gonna be
quick
season
on it,
5.
though. I'm not going to be quick on it to, like, watch it. Nah. No.
Season 5 is gonna be a little wild for me.
Yeah, they going to have to prove themselves in season 5 because this, it was rushed.
It felt rushed, yeah.
It was just too much. It was just too much, and yeah. Anything else before my battery dies? I'm good.
Yeah.
Alright, y'all. So that'd be it for this video. If y'all want to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what y'all want to see next, and thank you.